There is a hidden principle that separates people who try from people who dominate a skill. Today you'll discover why most humans stay beginners their entire lives. Have you noticed how some individuals seem to master anything they touch? They learn instruments fast. They absorb languages quickly. They build businesses while others stay confused for years. Most people explain it with one word: talent. This person was born special. I don't have that gift. And that thought quietly kills ambition. Because mastery is not about talent. It's about a system almost no one teaches anymore. In ancient Japan, there existed a method so powerful it turned farmers into warriors and average craftsmen into legends whose work survived centuries. It had nothing to do with IQ. Nothing to do with luck. It was about understanding 3 invisible stages of learning. They called it Shuhari. When you understand this system, you stop starting everything and finishing nothing. You become someone who actually completes what you begin. But there's a cost. Your ego won't like it. Before we continue, tell me in the comments, what skill do you want to master? Music? Coding? Business? Language? Now, let's begin. Chapter 1. The Lost Apprentice. This story begins in feudal Japan. A boy named Yamato carried one obsession in his heart: to become a samurai. He wasn't born into power. No family name. No status. Only hunger. While other boys accepted farming and trade, Yamato watched warriors pass through the village. Their walk, their silence, their authority without words. He wanted that life more than comfort. At 16, Yamato picked up a wooden blade and trained alone. Before sunrise, after sunset, horizontal cuts, vertical strikes, endless thrusts. 6 months passed. Nothing improved. His body felt stiff. The sword felt wrong. His movements looked empty. The more he practiced, the worse he felt. So he tried knowledge. He read ancient battle texts, memorized techniques, studied Bushido. His mind filled with theory. But when he held the sword, everything vanished. 1 year passed. Yamato was still only a villager with a dream too heavy to carry. Until one afternoon changed everything. Chapter 2. The meeting. While training near the forest, Yamato heard a voice. Your feet are wrong. Your posture is wrong. Your breath is wrong. He turned. A scarred warrior stood behind him. Gray hair tied back. 2 swords at his side. A real samurai. Shame burned Yamato's face. I train alone, sir. I have no master. The warrior walked around him slowly. How long? 1 year. And progress? Silence answered. The samurai took Yamato's sword. You are not training, he said calmly. You are programming failure. Every wrong repetition teaches your body how to fail perfectly. Those words struck deeper than steel. Yamato's voice trembled. Then how do I learn properly? The samurai interrupted. You tried to build from the top. Strategy before stance. Knowledge before discipline. Innovation before imitation. You skipped the path. He looked straight into Yamato's eyes. There are 3 stages to mastery. Skip one and you stay average forever. What are they? Yamato asked. Shuhari. Shu follow. Ha adapt. Re transcend. 3 stages. 1 destination. Yamato bowed. Teach me. The samurai paused, then nodded. Tomorrow at dawn. And be ready, Shu will destroy your ego. Chapter 3. Shu, the death of ego. Dawn arrived. The samurai met Yamato in the clearing. Today begins Shu, he said. You do not question. You do not improve. You copy. The master stood in position. Like this. Yamato mirrored him. The master adjusted his foot slightly, shifted his hips, lifted his shoulder. Now breathe. 3 seconds in. Hold 2. 4 seconds out. They stood still. Minutes passed. Pain spread through Yamato's legs. His mind screamed. When do we fight? He asked. The master turned slowly. You think foundations are boring. That's why most never become warriors. Mastery lives in millimeters, not miracles. Shu was repetition. Posture. Breath. Steps. Again. 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 No flashy moves. Weeks passed. Yamato doubted every day. This is slow. I should be learning attacks. But quietly something shifted. His stance felt natural. His breathing flowed. His body responded without thought. 3 months later, the master showed a simple strike. Do it 1,000 times. Exactly. And Yamato finally understood. Before power, there must be obedience. Not faster. Not slower. Not stronger. Exactly the same. Yamato spent the entire week practicing a single cut. 1,000 repetitions every day. By the fourth day, something strange happened. He was halfway through repetition number 400 when his body moved on its own. No thinking. No planning. The sword followed a path without instruction. It felt as if the blade already knew where to go. Did you notice it? The master asked from a distance. Yamato froze, then nodded. This is Shu, the master said calmly. When the movement sinks so deep into your body that the mind becomes unnecessary. Most people never reach this point. They believe repetition is beneath them. They think basics are for beginners. They rush forward without engraving the foundation. But science proves otherwise. A motor learning researcher in Tokyo discovered that when a motion is repeated correctly hundreds of times, the cerebellum builds an automatic circuit. Around 300 repetitions begin the pattern. Around 1,000 it becomes unconscious. The skill migrates from effort into instinct. But if you change the movement too early, the circuit never forms. You stay trapped in thinking mode, slow, tiring, fragile. Chapter 4. The Trap of the Eternal Student. 6 months of Shu passed. Yamato now owned 12 core techniques. Not in memory, in muscle. One night, the master woke him suddenly. Vertical strike. Half asleep, Yamato's body executed it perfectly. Yet something bothered him. He watched other warriors, men with far more experience. They knew countless forms. They could name ancient lineages. They recited strategies perfectly. But in real combat they felt empty. Their knowledge stayed in their heads, not in their bodies. One morning Yamato asked, "Master, why do some fighters know so much, yet perform worse than me?" The samurai smiled slightly. Because they live in the prison of the eternal student. They collect techniques like trophies. They chase new methods before finishing old ones. They confuse information with mastery. Knowledge is owning a map. Mastery is walking the land until you no longer need one. The master touched the ground beside him. Shu gave you obedience. You copied without ego. You repeated without shortcut. And now, he paused. Now you are ready to break. Yamato frowned. Break what? Everything. Chapter 5. Intelligent breaking. In Shu you became my mirror, the master explained. You moved as I moved. That built structure. But if you stay there, you become only my shadow. He drew a circle in the dirt. This is Shu. My limits around you. Ha begins when you step outside the circle. But beware, Ha is not rebellion. Lazy people break rules before mastering them. Ha is understanding so deeply that you can adapt wisely. You don't reject the art. You explore its meaning. That afternoon, the master brought another warrior. A fighter from a completely different school. Different stance. Different rhythm. Different philosophy. For the next year, the master said, you train with both of us. Yamato hesitated. Won't this destroy what I learned? If Shu was weak, yes, the master replied. You'd become confused. But your Shu is strong. Now you will see what lives beneath styles. Mornings with the first master. Afternoons with the second. One taught low posture and patience. The other taught high posture and explosion. At first Yamato's mind struggled. Switching styles felt impossible. But after months, clarity arrived. Under the surface differences, both masters taught the same truths. How to move energy. How to read intention. How to stay present. The shapes differed. The principles did not. You're beginning to see, the master said. Shu gave you forms. Ha gives you understanding. When you see principles, techniques become tools, not cages. After a year, Yamato changed. He was no longer copying. He was combining. One morning he blocked with one master's structure and countered with the other's power. The motion flowed without thought. Both instructors stared. What was that? One asked. Yamato blinked. I don't know. It felt natural. The masters exchanged smiles. Ha is complete. But the master added quietly, this is where most stop. They can adapt. They feel skilled. But Ha is still a room with walls. You are still attached to techniques. You are an artist, not yet a master. There is a final stage. And it demands what almost no one accepts. Forget everything. Chapter 6. Silent transcendence. Is where techniques disappear, the master said. You don't use the art uses you. There is no stance, no formula, no plan. Only presence. In you no longer think about fighting. You become movement itself. Yamato listened in silence. His journey had just begun again. Because true mastery isn't adding more. It's becoming empty enough for instinct to speak. There is only one thing left. Pure response to the moment. Yamato frowned. How can I fight without techniques? You will understand, the master replied. But first, a story. When I was young like you, I studied the sword for 40 years. 300 techniques. 12 schools. I became famous across the region. One day an old man challenged me. He was nearly 80. His back bent. His steps slow. I accepted politely. I thought the duel would last seconds. The master's eyes darkened with memory. He defeated me in 3 moves. What confused me most wasn't the loss. It was how he moved. He didn't use any style I recognized. Not A, not B, not C. He was like water, without shape, yet perfectly fitting every moment. Afterward he said to me, "Young man, you still fight." I do not. You choose techniques. I respond. When you move, my body already knows the answer before my mind speaks. No decision. No calculation. Only natural motion. Yamato tried to grasp it. But how do I reach that? The master answered quietly. Time. Practice. And the hardest part, stop trying. The 5 silent years, the next 5 years were the most difficult of Yamato's life. The master stopped teaching. No new lessons. No new forms. Only combat. Every day. Different opponents. Different styles. Different pressures. At first Yamato still thought, now I use this block. Now I counter like that. Now I combine both. His mind kept labeling, choosing, analyzing. But slowly, the names began to fade. He stopped thinking, what technique am I using? And started simply moving. One day, facing 3 attackers at once, something shifted. Or rather, something disappeared. Yamato didn't remember deciding anything. His body flowed. Block, turn, strike, evade. No thought, no plan. It felt like watching someone else move through him. When it ended, all 3 opponents lay on the ground. Yamato stood calm, breathing easily. He couldn't name a single move he had done. The master smiled from a distance. You finally stopped fighting. But I defeated 3 men. No, the master replied. Your body did. There was no you choosing. Only pure response. This is Re. You have gone beyond technique. They live in you so deeply that you no longer see them. The science of Re, a researcher at Kyoto University studying embodied cognition, explains what happens at mastery. As skill increases, activity in the prefrontal cortex, the decision center, drops. Older, faster brain systems take control. The expert is no longer performing the skill. The skill performs itself. Neurologically, the person and the action merge. Chapter 7. The Nameless Master. Years later, Yamato was no longer a dreaming boy. He became a respected samurai. Students traveled from distant villages to learn from him. And they always asked the same thing. Master, how many techniques do you know? Yamato smiled. None. And all. They wanted numbers, lists, certainty. But Yamato had learned something only Shuhari teaches. Techniques are fingers pointing at the moon. Most people stare at the finger. They never look at the moon. One day, an arrogant student challenged him. My old teacher knows 500 techniques, the young man said. How can you be better if you say you know none? Yamato lifted a wooden sword. Use any of your 500. The student attacked with a complex, polished strike. Yamato barely moved. A shift of angle. A quiet step. The student fell, disarmed, stunned. Yamato helped him up. You used a named technique, Yamato said. One you practiced thousands of times. It works in many situations. But I used none. My body answered your motion in the only way that moment required. It wasn't A, B, or C. It was a response that had never existed before. That is the difference. You have 500 options. I have infinite. Because I'm not choosing from memory. I'm creating from presence. Chapter 8. The Universal Way. Yamato's story isn't about swords. It's about mastery in anything. Want to learn guitar? Shuhari. Shu, copy songs exactly. No improvising. No ego. Let patterns enter your fingers. Understand theory. Combine styles. See principles beneath notes. Re, you stop playing music. You become it. Want to master programming? Shuhari. Shu, copy experienced code line by line. Follow structure. Build foundations. Understand why patterns exist. Adapt solutions. Combine logic. Re, you stop writing code. Solutions flow through you. Want to build a business? Shuhari. Shu, study models that work. Don't reinvent. Replicate wisely. Adapt systems to your niche. See universal principles. You stop following models. You become the model. Because mastery isn't adding more tools. It's becoming empty enough for instinct to speak. You begin to sense what will work. Not logically, intuitively. It's as if your body reads the market the way a master reads an opponent. And here's the truth most people miss. Shuhari is not an ancient Japanese idea. It's the blueprint of deep learning in every domain. But there's something no one tells you about Shuhari. Something that explains why most people never reach mastery. Chapter 9. The modern trap. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people alive today will never master anything. Not because they're untalented, but because they refuse to go through Shu. Think about it. How often have you heard someone say, "I don't like rules. I prefer my own way. I'm more creative when I do things differently." It sounds powerful. It sounds independent. But in reality, it's ego wearing a costume. You're not avoiding rules. You're avoiding humility. You're not finding your path. You're running from the work of walking someone else's first. Yamato could have said the same thing. Why must I copy you? Why can't I invent my own style? I'm unique. If he had done that, he wouldn't have become a samurai. He would have remained a villager with big opinions and small skills. Our generation has been sold a dangerous lie. Skip fundamentals. Go straight to self-expression. Copying is weak. Following is uncreative. And the result? A world full of beginners pretending to be experts. People who start 40 hobbies and finish none. People who say, "I tried guitar but it wasn't for me," when the truth is, they quit before Shu finished shaping them. So let me speak plainly. No stories. No poetry. Just reality. If you haven't mastered the skill you dream about, it's not because of talent. It's not time. It's not resources. It's because you're trying to live in Ha or Ri without paying for Shu. You want to perform like a virtuoso, without spending months on scales. You want to code like a professional, without copying better developers for a year. You want $1 million business, without studying proven models for 2 years. You want results without repetition. You want identity without discipline. You want creativity without submission. And Shu feels boring. It feels humiliating. It feels like admitting you know nothing. So ego rejects it. But ego is the enemy of mastery. There are no shortcuts. There never were. Zen monks knew it. Samurai knew it. Every real master knows it. There is only one road. What you must do now, not tomorrow. Not next week. No. First, choose one skill. Not 5. Not 3. 1. The one that, if mastered in 3 years, would change your life. Second, find someone who is already good at it. Not perfect. Just 10 times better than you. Follow one teacher, not 20. Third, enter Shu with humility. Copy with obsession. No tweaks. No, my style. No shortcuts. Just imitation. Will it feel boring? Yes. Will your ego suffer? Yes. Will people call you robotic? Yes. Good. That's the price. For when the skill flows without thought, enter Ha. Study other methods. Combine. Adapt. Question intelligently. Stay there for years, not months. Integration takes time. So, one day without noticing you arrive at Ri. You stop thinking. You start responding. The skill moves through you. And then something strange happens. You return to the basics again, but with new eyes. The evidence of masters. An Oxford researcher studying expertise for 25 years examined over 500 masters across music, sports, business, coding, and martial arts. Every single one followed the same structure. First, years of strict imitation. Second, years of experimentation. Third, intuitive performance. No exceptions. Not even prodigies. The speed changes. The order never does. Chapter 10. Yamato's legacy. Yamato lived to 87. He trained hundreds. And on his final day, a student asked, "Master, what do you regret?" Yamato was silent. Then he said, "I regret not entering Shu sooner. I wasted a year trying to teach myself. I thought I was clever. If I had followed a master from day one, I would have gained an extra year of mastery. And no gold can buy that." He looked at his students. "Don't repeat my mistake. Copy without shame. Learn without ego. Don't rush to be original. Originality is not where mastery begins. It's where mastery ends." 3 days later, he passed peacefully. The real meaning of Shuhari. You think Shuhari teaches skills. It doesn't. It teaches transformation. The impatient version of you. The shortcut-seeking version. The identity-protecting version. That person will never master anything. But another version exists. A patient one. A disciplined one. A humble one. One willing to repeat the same action 1,000 times. One who understands the long road is the fast road. That version is already inside you. Waiting. Shuhari is not just a method. It's a mirror. And what you see in it tells you who you'll be in 5 years. Someone searching for hacks. Or someone building mastery. Yamato was nobody special. No lineage. No gift. Only obedience before innovation. And that changed everything. You have the same choice. 5 years of searching. Or 5 years of building. Mastery doesn't chase you. You walk to it. Step by step. Rep by rep. Shu. Then ha. Then re. The path is ancient. The path is proven. The path works. If this video gave you a new way to think about learning, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. And comment below. What's one skill you will master using Shuhari? Thank you for staying till the end. That already separates you from most people. Now stop watching and enter Shu.